I reprogram my mind for success. I literally get every single thing that I want. Anything that I want, it's only a matter of time before it becomes into my reality. I wanted to come to Italy a couple of months ago. Boom, fast forward, I'm here. I'm here in Italy. I'm in Rome. And life is bliss. I literally get everything I want. So I'm going to teach y'all how to reprogram your mind for success. First things first, when we're talking about reprogramming your mind for success, you're never going to be able to do that if you hold a belief that you're not successful. So first and foremost, in order to experience anything in this life, you have to be it. You have to become it. You have to embody it. You're not going to be successful by holding the vibration of a victim. You're not going to be successful by holding the vibration of someone who doubts and does not believe in their capabilities. So first and foremost, you have to move and operate through this life as someone who has a strong self-assurance. You must know that anything you want, you get it. That's the number one mindset to have when it comes to being successful, because success is not measured by how many accolades you achieve or how other people perceive you. Success is your own definition. We all have different versions of success. For some people, Lamborghinis, fast cars, watches and all that stuff, that means success to them. Good for them. To some people, success means a high school diploma or college degrees, whatever. Everyone's definition of success is different. So actually, before I even get into that, first and foremost, in order to be successful, you have to define what success means to you. Are you operating from someone else's definition and version of success, or do you have your own version of success? Because if you don't even know what success looks like to you or what that feels like to you, then you'll never be it, because you don't even know what it is. So you have to identify what makes you feel successful, what makes you feel success, what even is success to you, because like I said, it means many different things to many people. And if you're finding yourself asking that question and you do see the Lamborghinis, the high-rise apartments, abundance of money, or college degrees and diploma and all that stuff, you need to first of all reprogram your mind and get those external definitions of success from outside of your peripheral. You should not be operating from someone else's version of success. If you come to the conclusion, okay, that's what success looks like to you, okay, let that be. But you need to be getting to that conclusion from your own mind, not by following what someone else tells you is successful. Me personally, I don't think, the fast cars and the high-rise apartments, that don't mean success to me. Success is how I feel. Success is me feeling like I can have literally anything that I want. The fact that I can do that, I think that I'm successful. The fact that I can come on here and I'm able to express myself so freely, I feel like I'm successful. I feel like the fact that I have a platform and people are choosing to listen to me, I am successful. The fact that I'm making money online, I am successful. The fact that I said I'm going to go to Italy and I'm here in Italy making this video right now, I'm successful. The fact that I get to get up and do whatever I want, literally, like I don't have to clock into a job, I can just choose to do whatever I want anywhere in this world, I am successful. And I'm successful because I've defined my own version of success. So define what success means to you. You need to be very clear on what that looks like for you. If we're talking about reprogramming if we're talking about reprogramming your mind, you need to be very clear. Because the subconscious and our consciousness in general operates through illustrations and experiences. So these things need to be very vivid. You need to have very vivid descriptions of what success looks like. What does it look like? What does it taste like? What does it feel like? Write these things down, because another reason why I'm personally so successful and why I get everything that I want is because I'm super detailed when I'm explaining the things that I want or desire. So for example, the whole reason how I came here to Italy, when we're talking about the subconscious mind, you have to immerse yourself in the experience as if it already exists. Okay, you have to pretend. And when we're talking about pretending, you're literally tending to the thing as if it already exists. So you're preparing for it, you're making space for it. That's all that pretending is. It's not like, living a lie. Pretending is literally acting as if it's here. You're making the space for it. You're creating as if it's already here. So boom. How I even came to Italy is because I immersed my subconscious with images and experiences of Italy in real life. So I started watching Italian movies. I started eating Italian food. I started listening to Italian music. I started studying Italian culture and history and learning about how Italy became Italy. I started looking at the weather and the temperature. I started looking at their native flowers and their native landscapes and all that stuff. I just literally immersed myself Italy in my brain. Boom. Next thing you know, I get the invitation to come to Italy for free. Don't have to pay for a thing unless I want to. because that's the vibration that I held in my mind. So of course, by natural divine law, y'all, it has to manifest. And you need to be moving through life with that amount of certainty, that you know that it is in divine accordance for you to get what you want, but only if you align yourself with it. So you have to program your subconsciousness to be successful, and you do that through your beliefs. So you need to already believe. The number one most important thing that you can believe if you're looking for success is believe that you get everything you want. Not that you can get everything you want, not that you're worthy of getting everything you want. No, you do. You already do. You already get every single thing you want. You need to be telling yourself this every single day. I get what I want. I always get what I want. I always get what I want. Do not worry about time. Throw time away. Time is not a factor. Nobody cares about time. Time is just a chosen measurement that we decide to use, but it doesn't matter. Throw it away. Get rid of time. It could take 2 days. It could take 2 seconds. Who cares? We're not talking about that. The fact is, at the end of the day, you always get what you want. You always get what you want. But let me tell you something. You can't put all the work on the universe. You got to do something too. Like I said, I told you what I did. I immersed myself in Italy culture, watching Italian movies, listening to the Italian language, eating Italian food. I did everything I can to put myself in the experience of Italy to make it as real as possible until it has no choice but to be real. I'm here. I'm in Italy. I'm in Italy. I'm not lying to y'all. I'm not lying. I'm in Italy. Let me show you. There's the Italian flag over there. I'm in Italy. I'm in Rome. That's a church bell over there. I made it real because I overloaded my subconscious mind with Italy. So it had no choice but to become real. So to reprogram your mind for success, you need to overload your consciousness with what success looks like to you. And of course, you need to be able to identify what success even is to you. What is success? What makes you, the viewer, successful? And if it's this widely, quote unquote, if it's unattainable to you, in your mind, if your version of success feels unattainable, scratch it, throw it away, start small. Because what you also need to build that self-assurance is you need proof of concept. And you're not going to get proof of concept if you have these super big goals. Not saying that they can't happen, but we're working with your subconscious and your subconscious limitations, which aren't going to go away on their own. So if you know you have these limitations and you already see your version of success as something that's unattainable, you need to work a little bit smaller because you need to build proof of concept. And proof of concept is simply, you having this relationship with your subconscious that this can happen. We can do this. Like, I truly believe that I get everything I want. I truly believe that I'm manifesting this. I truly believe that I am dedicated to this. I truly see myself as this ultra high successful person doing whatever. You need the proof of concept in order to actually hold these beliefs. It's not just fallacy. It's not just telling yourself these things. Like, belief and telling yourself is 2 different things. Like, just saying these things doesn't mean you actually believe it. Okay, I'm a millionaire. You can say I'm a millionaire all you want, but do you actually believe it? I actually believe it because guess what? I'm a cellular trillionaire. I have trillions of cells that work to keep me alive every single day. So I truly believe I am a trillionaire. I believe that. But if you're just telling yourself that, but you don't actually believe it, you're not working with yourself. You're not going to get nowhere doing that. So you actually truly need to believe it. And the best way to build that belief and that relationship with yourself, that trust with yourself, is through proof of concept. So start small. Tell yourself, creator, I want to see, not I want to see. I'm going to go on this walk. I'm going to take a walk and I'm going to show myself a yellow car and that a specific, whatever. You just tell yourself, like, I'm going to see shoes hung on a electricity line. Like, just give yourself some type of sign, some type of signal. And then when you see it and you're like, okay, all right, I know that something's online. I know that this is working. I just need to learn how to tap myself into where I can have a little bit more control. But you need that proof of concept to be able to believe that, you actually have these powers to manifest. If you've never done this type of work before, or if you've never, operated on this frequency, your lack of belief is going to hold you back the most. Like your sense of realism and the logic that you hold. This world is not logical. I just feel the need to tell y'all that right now. This world that we operate in is not logical. It can be if you choose to operate that way. It very much can be. And it does exist somewhat, but that's not the core fundamental foundation of this reality that we live in. It's not logical. It's actually illogical. It makes no sense at all. You need to start looking at the world like it's metaphysical and magical, because that's exactly what it is. But once again, it's your choice. So if you're choosing to look at things like, oh, that's illogical, that doesn't make any sense, that's not possible, that's not physically possible, then magical things won't happen in your life. Then you can't, manifest from your subconscious mind if you're sitting here telling yourself that only logical things are real. If you see something that's like extraordinary or supernatural and your first response is trying to disprove it, you're literally killing your magic. You don't want to do that. So yeah, my recommendation is build that proof of concept, and so you can have that self-assurance, and so you can build that trust and belief within yourself, so you know, because ultimately at the end of the day, it always goes back to you get everything you want. That's all being successful is. The successful person set out a goal, they went out on a journey, they had an idea, and it became real life, and now they're successful. But we have these shared concepts of what success is. Like I said, the high-rise apartments, the Richard Mille on the wrist, or thousands and millions of dollars. Okay, we have these shared concepts of success, but success is defined by you. But I told y'all my definitions of success. I feel like I'm successful because I can do whatever I want. That's actually my own definition of success. That's not everyone's definition of success. Everyone's definition is not being able to do whatever they want. I feel like that is. I feel like having ultimate freedom over your life and having free choice, literally, like to do whatever you want. Everybody don't have a choice. A lot of y'all probably don't have a choice. Well, at least you feel like you don't have a choice because you have to get up and go to work and stuff like that. I feel like having that freedom is success to me. Having personal autonomy is success. So get really clear on what success is to you and overload your subconscious with it. Study people. I'm gonna tell y'all another thing I did to step into this luxurious way of living. I also still do it because I still have goals. I watch movies or documentaries about super rich people, like people living stupid rich lives, like they got stupid money, like ultra luxurious, ultra glamorous. I'm talking like super wealthy royal bloodline type living. I watch, like I said, movies or real life videos of people operating in that way, like people who have butlers. I'm not saying I want to live like that, but it just shows me how people like that who operate, like how they move throughout this life, and they all operate the same way. That's what I'm telling you. It's a vibration, it's a frequency, it's a certain way of living. You know, these people are hopping on helicopters and private jets to get from one place to another. Like, I overload my subconscious with that way of living in order to, you know, attain that level of wealth. Now, like I said, I'm gonna use it differently, but that's not the point. The point is, that's the main way that I have reprogrammed my mind for success, is I overloaded my subconscious with images of things that are already real for other people. And I'm gonna tell you another way that I did it when I first started out. This is goals that I achieved years ago that I'm on whole new methods now, but this is the old method that worked for me. So when I so badly had never been to the islands ever, I had never been to the islands at this point, and I so badly wanted to go to the islands. And once again, it seemed like something so unattainable. It felt like something that was so like far out of reach, like so impossible for me. Like I didn't have any type of money at that point, and it just seemed like so impossible. So what I did to place myself in that environment of the islands is I painted. And now I can show you guys proof, but I painted. So I would paint myself, or I would paint representations of myself in the islands. Blue, super blue waters, lush green mountains. Like I would paint it over and over and over again. I would paint myself in these environments until boom. Now I done traveled all throughout the Caribbean. I done been through all four corners of the Caribbean, literally north, south, east, west. I done explored the entire Caribbean. And even other islands. I've been to Okinawa, I've been to Menorca, Spain. Like I've been to all over the islands now. But I would have never been there if I didn't. I remember where I first started. I remember when I first came on this journey. I remember when traveling to the islands seemed so far out of reach for me. It seemed like only super wealthy people get to do it, but no, I've been all over now. Like, so that was one of the first methods that I did, is I painted myself in these environments. So you too can also create your own, you know, methods of manifestation of what you do to place yourself in these environments. But that's number one thing. You have to immerse yourself with what that looks like for you already, and study people who have what you want. Study people who live the life that you want. Just study. Bro, you gotta study. Like, you're not gonna get around studying. You need to study. I don't know why I feel the need to say that. Somebody who's watching this probably like don't read or has a short attention span, or don't pick up books and stuff, but you gotta study. Or when you do study, like, you just lose track, you lose focus, but you gotta study. You gotta study yourself, study people who come before you. Just like I said, you gotta do it. You gotta do it. Overload your subconscious with images of what you want to see. That's how you make it real. Because your subconscious mind can't tell the difference between what's real and what's fake. I don't know if y'all know that, but y'all subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between what's real and what's fake. That's why me personally, just kind of going off on a side note, but just to give you further context, me personally, I don't watch images of like murder, violence, killing, and gruesome stuff and all that. I don't put that stuff in my subconscious, because once again, your subconscious cannot tell the difference between what's real and what's fake. So this is another thing I feel I need to tell y'all. You need to eliminate things that contradict and counteract the perception of success that you hold, because something is feeding your belief, thinking that this is so unattainable, this is so far-fetched, I'm not successful, something in your life is feeding those beliefs and it's causing this disillusion. And you need to remove everything that's not in alignment with the reality that you are calling in. You need to remove everyone, everything, every person, place, or thing that's not in alignment with the successful version of yourself. Now, I want to tell you something else that I wrote in my book. This is this question that I want you guys to ask yourself. How would you move if you knew that you were going to get every single thing that you want? How would you move if you knew that you were going to get every single thing that you want? And this is not a rhetorical question. This is a question for you to really ask yourself. What does the daily routine of the most successful version of yourself look like? What are their habits? What are the habits of the most successful person of you? What is the habits of the most successful version of you? What does your most successful version of yourself do every day? What do they like? What type of food do they eat? What type of clothes do they wear? Who do they hang around? What does their environment look like? Like I said, what type of habits do they have? What do they do on a daily basis? How do they spend their time? You need to be asking yourself these very detailed, intricate questions and do your best to live like that right now. And soon, it'll be a real life. You'll start seeing more proof of concept, because when you do those things, that's embodiment. And what I say at the beginning of this video, you're never going to think your way into success. You have to embody it. So those questions right there, that's the key. That's the key to holding the belief and truly embodying that success. Ask yourself those questions. I'm telling you, be super descriptive. The universe loves description, okay? Get super vivid, disgustingly vivid details about your dream life and the most successful version of yourself. And show up as that person to the best of your ability, what you can right now. I'm talking, if you need to go to the thrift store and buy some secondhand cashmere, wool, silk, linen, whatever you do to make yourself feel rich. This is what I did. I'm telling y'all, this is what I did. I stopped wearing cheap fabrics like 2026, so 5 years ago. 2020 is when I actually donated every single last polyester plastic-based clothing out of my closet, and I was thrifting cotton, linen, hemp, wool only. And every now and then I still thrift, but now I'm at a point where I can afford to spend $60, $70, $80 on just a plain shirt just because it's organic bamboo or just because it's organic linen. Back then I couldn't do that, but because I was thrifting my whole entire wardrobe, and feeling rich before I actually was rich, now I'm rich. And I can do whatever I want, and I can have whatever I want, and I can buy whatever I want, literally. But this is another thing I feel the need to tell y'all too. Just because you can have something don't mean you need it. And that's why I disagree with the whole, watch on the wrist and the high-rise apartments and fast cars. Just because you can buy something don't mean you should. Because I also feel like those are just trying to show people like, hey, I have money. Spirit tells me not to talk about money. I'm not allowed to talk about money, and I obey the Creator. I obey Spirit. But in this particular moment, I feel like it's okay to talk in certain contexts, but y'all will never know how much money I have in my bank account. Y'all just will never know how much money I got coming in, because I'm literally forbidden to talk about it, because I think it's a form of evil eye. It could be weaponized against you, and you just don't want to give people too much information about yourself. But that's besides the point. That's the topic for another video. I can give y'all so many topics about so many things about how I live my life, but what I'm talking about is how to maintain the aura of success. But that's not what this video is about. I can make another video about that. This video is strictly about how I reprogram my subconscious mind for success. And I just told y'all so many ways how I did it and how you can do it too to fit your own personal needs. But yeah, that's it. Overload your subconscious mind, create the environment as if it already exists, and embody the feeling. How does the rich version of you feel? How does the successful version of you feel? Embody that feeling. Eat the food that makes you feel like that. Wear the clothes that makes you feel like that. Listen to the songs that make you feel like that. That's another thing too. I don't listen to no 808 rap. I don't listen to none of that stuff. Anything lower vibrational, I don't partake in it. And I don't care. Y'all can call me spiritual bypass or whatever. This is my life. This is my reality. That's how I get what I want. I don't feed myself, my subconscious mind, anything. I don't feed anything about my being, anything about my aura, anything low vibrational. I keep it high. That's it. Keep it high, keep it high, keep it clean. That's it. So yeah, that's how you're gonna do it. Make sure you eat healthy food, because you're not like, come on, successful people don't eat McDonald's. And if they do, they're not truly spiritually successful. So yeah, 21 minutes. Ciao. I really love y'all. And I know that y'all gonna make the best out of your life. I know that you're gonna make the most out of your life, and you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it too. If I can be out here in Italy just because I want to be out here, you can do whatever you want. Life is a game, so have fun. I love y'all. Ciao.